Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.
George Kittle and his usage. I tweeted out he should have at least 8 targets a game, him and Deebo Samuel. Get the ball in your playmaker's hands. And I got a lot of pushback, and I talked about just his average depth of targets last game, talking about minus 2 yards for George Kittle. George Kittle's average depth of target against the Philadelphia Eagles was minus 2 yards. Now, what I have to do is I got to go back and watch the game through Kyle Shanahan's eyes. That's what I try to do. I try to look at their moves through their eyes, through Kyle's eyes, through John Lynch's eyes. Why would they do this? Why would they do that? Whatever. I have to go back and look through their eyes, but just in theory, at the end of the day, the 49ers offense was extremely stagnant to start the game. You're looking at an offense that had 3 straight 3-and-outs, and they had a terrific drive before the half, and they had one other drive that resulted in a touchdown. There was a field goal drive, and obviously the 4-minute drive that ended the game. Excellent. But when you look at how stagnant the offense is, I just couldn't help to think, man, we had 3 straight 3-and-outs, and we have one of the best tight ends in the league, and we're not really utilizing him. Now, the pushback I get from a lot of fans is, well, 49ers had to use him as a blocker more because the Philadelphia pass rush and whatnot. And I don't know. Again, I have to go back and watch it. I don't know what's true, what's not true. I look at PFF but looking at the 49ers offense, I mean, I think there are plenty of teams that go through situations like that where maybe, the quarterback has to get the ball out of his hands right now. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have an issue with George Kittle, average depth of targets minus 2, when he's one of the most dangerous tight ends in the league. You get the ball in his hands in any type of space, he's liable to take it to the house. We've seen it plenty of times. I think he's a tremendous route runner. He could be utilized in that way. Do we pay him $15, $16 million a year to be an extra tackle? Can we use Ross Dwelly? Can we use Charlie Warner? Can we use one of them in that role? But I need to get the ball in George Kittle's hands and not just on screen plays. I need to get the ball to him 10 yards down the field, 15 yards down the field. Can I take a shot with my guy, George Kittle? Those things should be happening with him. And so far, through 2 games, and he had a nice play against the Lions. And those are things he can do. It wasn't a far down the field throw or anything like that, but he got the ball in space, stiff armed the guy, made a guy miss, cut across field, got upfield, trying to outrun. Those are the things you want to do with George Kittle. So I just have an issue with him having 4 targets in the game. I think he should have 8 every game. I have an issue with 4 targets and his average depth of target minus 2 yards. That's crazy to me. I get it from the other side of things where you guys are saying, well, the offensive line, which the numbers, and again, I don't know if this is just because maybe you have Jimmy getting the ball out of his hands right now, but he's been pressured the least in the NFL, the least amount in the NFL. And I think each game, what was it, 1 pressure a week ago or maybe 2, and then last game there was about 5. Again, PFF could be wrong, or whoever's charting the pressures for him, but I feel like the offensive line in both games has done a better job than what we've been led to believe. And I think there are opportunities to really get the ball down the field with time, especially get the ball to your best player in George Kittle. You have to get the ball to him in space. So I don't know. It's curious as to why he didn't. And I probably wouldn't say anything, but the 49ers offense was very stagnant. So from that perspective, I feel like you got to make some shake. Now, maybe Philly's defense is good. These are things early on, too, that we don't know quite yet. Who's good, who's not, and things are going to kind of play out. Maybe we look back on this game. Maybe it's week 10, and you see Philadelphia sitting there, and they are, 6-3 heading into week 10. And then it's like, hey, well, maybe Philly was just good, and that was just a great win on the road by the 49ers. Maybe their defense is just super good, and that's why 49ers had to play like that. But I feel like Kyle has these weird games sometimes, and I think Kyle Shanahan is excellent. I don't want to complain about Kyle Shanahan. I think he's excellent. I remember 2019 49ers lost against the Atlanta Falcons, and that was one of those weird games where it's like, what the hell is going on? Why is the 49ers offense so stagnant? Now, George Kittle went off that game, but I think the receivers had 3 catches, combined. We're talking about Debo, Emmanuel Sanders, and there was like one other catch that the receivers had. Kendrick Bourne had like one. I think they have 4 total. Two by Sanders, 1 by Debo, 1 by Kendrick Bourne. And George Kittle kind of got off, but the offense was so stagnant and the 49ers ended up losing the game that they probably shouldn't have lost. And this was one of those games. So maybe it's just a one-off. Maybe that was that one game where Kyle just calls a weird game and maybe the opposing team has his number. And so far, what we've seen recently in recent years, Kyle has had Packers number, but I think they got different defensive coordinator this year. So we'll see how that plays out. Who's it? Joe Barry? I think that's the Packers defensive coordinator now. But yeah, George Kittle, arguably your best player. You got to get the ball in his hands. I don't care about anything else that's going on in this game. The more you get the ball in his hands, the more opportunities you have to have explosive plays. And can't nobody tell me otherwise. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to hear, well, he loves blocking. Like, all right, he loves blocking. I think he does. There is a side of him that loves blocking. But get the ball in your best playmaker's hands. Debo's good up there too. Real quick, if you guys aren't already, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Locked On NFL Draft. I am one of the hosts on that show. Find it on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On NFL Draft. I appreciate it. Listen to it on all your streaming sites. Locked On NFL Draft. Locked On 49ers. Make sure you guys check that out, man.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace.